Massive Cardano news.
Let's get into it.
So today, guys, we're going to be taking a cheeky look at Cardano, and specifically some fantastic news that has been recently circulating. This is going to be hopefully insightful and hopefully give you all a pretty good idea as to what is coming here for Cardano in the near future. If you find this video useful and informative, do go ahead and hit that like button for us. We both really do appreciate it. And of course, if you happen to be new to the channel and you'd like to stay up to date with the new cryptocurrencies, the hidden gems, the technical analysis and news, then why not subscribe to the channel? By subscribing, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything we do here. It's free, you'll stay well informed, so why not? And Chris, is there anything else that you would like to add before we jump on down to the desktop and get into everything Cardano?
So first of all, I was going to say, don't forget to let us know in the comments below what you think about this news. I think it is big news. Be interesting to get your views and opinions. And don't forget, you can delegate your ADA using the ticker 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘. We do run a pool. It supports the channel and it also supports the project. And we've got, I don't know, 11.3 million ADA delegated with 1,051 unique delegators.
That's fantastic news, guys. If you want to earn a passive income, support the channel, support the platform Cardano as well, then why not delegate? It's under the ticker 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘. Check it out. Right, let's jump down, Chris, to the desktop and start talking about everything Cardano.
Let's do it.
Okay guys, we are going to jump over to one of Charles Hoskinson's recent videos where he talks about some of the updates that are coming to Cardano. And as we get into this, hopefully this will be quite insightful. Let's jump over and listen to what Charles Hoskinson has to say.
We are in the 𝗗𝗠𝗠𝗘𝗥𝗦 era. It's happening. Things are coming. And we've color-coded the whole thing. So in a few days, and Thursday, we're going to talk about all the different colors of the 𝗗𝗠𝗠𝗪 rainbow and how we're going to roll out 𝗗𝗠𝗠𝗪 and the steps that are required to do so. Now, glimpses into future technology is also going to happen. So at the end of this month, we're going to do a presentation on 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗪 and a presentation on 𝗕𝗢𝗪. So there's been a lot of progress with 𝗕𝗢𝗪, and there's actually a new paper called 𝗕𝗘𝗪, which is the light client approach for Cardano. I often believe 𝗕𝗃𝗪, 𝗕𝗢𝗪 plus Omega are the three core components of a cryptocurrency in the third generation to be competitive. So the fact that two of the three are now imminently in paper format and they have prototyping teams behind them is a really good sign. It means we can move a lot faster than we've moved before. And as soon as we get this giant smart contracts update out, we can then focus on those refinements alongside a lot of economic refinements as well.
So there, Charles Hoskinson revealed that he will be building a prototype for the 𝗕𝗢𝗪 update. This is absolutely massive news when it comes to transactions per second. Currently, if we compare this to Ethereum, which only has 30 transactions per second, 𝗕𝗢𝗪 promises to have about 1 million transactions per second. Even with Ethereum 2.0 just around the corner, this only promises 100,000 transactions per second, and therefore 𝗕𝗢𝗪 is a crucial update to the Cardano ecosystem. With 1 million transactions per second, this is where powering the continent of Africa on the Cardano ecosystem really does become apparent. So this is huge news, and as we learn more about the 𝗕𝗢𝗪 update in coming days and weeks, it's going to be interesting to see how this update and prototype actually evolves over time. 1 million transactions per second really does give Cardano a competitive edge over people like Ethereum, and it really does enable Cardano to truly be able to empower the continent of Africa and maybe even additional continents in the future. Let's see what else Charles Hoskinson has to say.
Now, 𝗗𝗠𝗠𝗪 is a collaborative effort. Smart contracts are a big engine, and you have to do stuff with them. You have to run applications with them. So there's a community part, and then there's an IO Global part, in that we write some of the foundational stuff, and then a network of partners work on that with us. And then the community writes applications. Now, anticipation for the 𝗗𝗠𝗠𝗪 work going public was the Plutus Pioneers program. There are about 1,500 people in the program, and we'll give you guys a comprehensive update about it in a few days. But the long and short is that a lot of them participated. They went to the developer Discord, and they're in their, they just closed out their 7th week, I believe, of the program, and they're entering their 8th week of the program. It's a 10-week program. And the point of the program was to create a baseline so that when Alonzo comes, basically we have a cohort of people to go and play around with and run code, kind of like what we seeded with the incentivized testnet for the development of stake pool operators. So now that that program is coming to an end, the first step, and I think we call this Alonzo Blue, is we're going to roll a chunk of those Plutus pioneers, the high performers, alongside 8 different development companies into an alpha testnet. And the point of this is just to make sure that all the integrations are right and to run actual Plutus code on the system. And it's basically an acid test and a dry run to get a greater understanding if everything we think is true. And we'll burn that in for a little while with that first cohort. And those are the ones who get abused the most. And they earned it because they signed up for 10 weeks of hard programming. And now they actually get to stretch their legs and do things.
So there, Charles Hoskinson revealed that he has 1,500 developers working on Plutus code in the background, developing dApps for Cardano. This is really important to understand because ultimately at the moment Cardano is kind of pitched as a ecosystem without anything built on it. Without that smart contract functionality, it kind of is hard to see dApps actually kind of rolling out. With this being said, however, and having so many developers working in the background, as soon as smart contracts are deployed on the network, we are going to see a flurry of new dApps actually launch on the platform. This is really crucial because lots of people within the community for Cardano are all here because of the future and what ultimately Cardano can deliver going forward. So once all those new dApps are actually launching on Cardano, there's going to be a flurry of new investment kind of going into those projects as well. This is going to see some fantastic surge in the Cardano ecosystem. And obviously, we're also going to see lots of projects porting over using an ERC20 converter, bringing projects from Ethereum over to Cardano. This is crucially important, and we're going to start seeing a lot more projects actually launch on Cardano in the near future once smart contracts roll out. Now, again, just like Ethereum back in the start, ultimately Ethereum didn't have anything built on it. It was built around hype, and ultimately a lot of this that you're seeing now with Cardano has already occurred when it comes to Ethereum. So yes, nothing is currently out there in terms of Cardano, and that kind of FUD that's kind of circulating around saying, well, there's a ghost chain, there's nothing built on it, etc., is merited and not merited at the same time. If you see a true value in something, then it's better to invest early and gain all those rich rewards rather than waiting and potentially missing out on a few %,000% gains. So yes and no, I agree and I disagree. I do feel that ultimately we are going to be in a fantastic place from a Cardano ecosystem and a Cardano community. We're going to see significant value added in a very short space of time. So I do find that having so many developers working on Plutus code and dApps in the background, the second that Cardano actually launches, or these dApps actually launch on Cardano, we're going to see an absolute surge in price for both Cardano and also these new projects as they launch as well. Now we also have this from the Daily Hodl. Charles Hoskinson says crypto primed to overtake the entire financial market, and here's when. So a pretty catchy headline. Let's see exactly what's going on here. So Cardano founder Charles Hoskinson says that the crypto space is gearing up to take over the entire traditional financial system. In a new video, Charles Hoskinson shares his thoughts on the current crypto landscape and explains why the nascent industry will become a dominant force that addresses much of the problems of the current financial system. So in his own words, crypto is the industry that's the antidote to the excesses, corruption, and nepotism that we found. This is an industry of frustration that has now been replaced by an industry of creativity and innovation. We're going to change the world. It's just that simple. We didn't ask permission. We came here and we're going to get it done together. And there's simply too many people now. The markets are simply too large. The innovation is simply too vast. It's going to happen. It's no longer a question of if, it's when and how will these dinosaurs find a way to survive in this new world order? So pretty powerful statement there from Charles Hoskinson during one of his recent videos. And again, this kind of just shows us exactly where the future is kind of going. And I do align exactly with what Charles Hoskinson is saying here in terms of his vision for the future. It's hard to see a world where ultimately the historic financial system, the out-of-date systems that are currently put in place, are not going to be replaced by far superior technology going forward. This is something that we talk about a lot on this channel, where we basically talk about 2025 and 2030 as being key milestones. These are particular eras in time where we see massive amounts of roadmaps from major companies and banking giants with talking about digital currency rollouts, and it all kind of is geared up towards 2025, with a mature market really truly hitting in 2030. This also ties in incredibly nicely with the bull run cycles. So the next cycle after 2021 is in fact 2025, 2026, and again after that you're talking about 2030 and 2031. These are key milestones for really pushing the crypto space further forward. But Hoskinson highlights that the whole crypto, while crypto may still be in its infancy, he sees the industry maturing quickly. He breaks down his views over the next 10 years, claiming that crypto will take control over the majority of financial operations we use today. So here's the quote: "Over the next 10 years, we're going to be more advancements in monetary policy from our industry than the last 100 years of central banks. In the next 10 years, there's going to be more advancement on financial engineering, the construction of financial products, and the marketplaces upon which trade them than the last 100 years from Wall Street and England and Tokyo and all other places in the world combined. In the next 10 years, there's going to be more movement of wealth within 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on crypto rails than there will be through IBS, the Bank of International Settlements. And through the fixed protocols and all these other things that are the mainstay staples of the financial world." So again, another fantastic statement there from Charles Hoskinson, and it's going to be hard to see that this isn't kind of the thing that's going to happen. I do truly align to this, and again, for people who've done a lot of research onto roadmaps between central banks and some of these really large entities, do also align to this thinking, because we've seen what they're working towards and how long it actually takes to get there. So 2025 is something that's going to be a really interesting year. And for me and Chris, we are literally lining up some fantastic opportunities during the next bear market, where we're accumulating very specific projects. And there'll be a few new ones cropping up, no doubt, that will actually allow us to really gain significant ground for that next bull run. So this is absolutely fantastic news, and I think we're going to start seeing some fantastic stuff moving further forward. But again, there's one additional piece that has come out as well, which is this one here. This is "Central banks will fade away and we are the antidote." This is pretty much the same piece as what we've just spoken about, but just kind of, spun slightly differently. So I'm not going to read in detail, but I am going to just shoot through a few of these points. Basically, in a video from Charles Hoskinson, he shares the following statement: "You can't go back. You can't change that. You can't put the genie back in the bottle. Central banks will fade away. It's just going to happen. Your conventional legacy banks are going to fade away. The payment rails that are so nepotistic and corrupt and slow and inefficient and expensive will fade away. And good riddance." And again, all these things are lining up to exactly that. Now, I don't think it's going to happen 2021, 2022, or 2023. We're going to have a slow, gradual, slow. It's actually quite fast when we think about it. It's going to be between now and 2025. We're going to see a pretty good, steady flow heading towards exactly that future. These banks will evolve to adapt and adopt cryptocurrency protocols and digital currencies to really help keep themselves alive during what is potentially going to be one of the biggest wealth transfers in human history. And again, we are the antidote to the corrupt system. Never allow them to say that ours is the industry that is the risk. Ours is an industry that's the antidote to the corruption, the nepotism that we found. The industry of frustration has now been replaced by an industry of creativity and innovation. So some fantastic stuff there going on for Cardano. Hopefully, guys, that gives you a bit of an insight as to what is going on most recently with Cardano. And again, we can take a look quickly at the charts here. And we can also see that we've had a bit of a breakout event just occur here for Cardano. Now, this actually happened last night at about 7 p.m. And we can see that we actually had the breakout from a downward trend. So what I'm going to do is just zoom on out and start at that daily and show you what we're looking at here. So we basically have this downward trend that's been appearing, and we also had this upward trend here. And ultimately, we're looking to find which one of these was going to be stronger than the other. And what happened, we basically said by the 3rd of June, we'll know for sure which trend is the stronger trend. And it appears to be that the upward trend has actually broken through that downward trend. Therefore, it's looking pretty good as we go ahead and potentially move past our resistance line of $1.83. So this is really crucial, and it means that ultimately we continue to set these lower or higher lows as we had these corrections. And again, we were setting these lower highs on the way down here. And this has now changed. We've actually now gone ahead and set a higher low. We're just, once we get past that $1.83, that's a really good, strong indication for things to come. We're looking at that 618, the 702, and the 786. If we can get that close above there, we'll be heading on up out of this area for good, and that'll be a fantastic move to the upside coming shortly. Now, what we can do is just bring this back down into our hourly and take a look and see what might be on the horizon for the short term. Right now, where we are currently sat with Cardano here, we can see that we are actually really high on our relative strength index. This is not the best potential move, and we are looking to potentially have this pull back a tad in order to allow us to continue the motion to the upside. So right now, set at 66, it's just below the overbought area. So the idea here is that this area of resistance, which is our 50% retracement zone, we have to go ahead and test this as a good support line. So ideally, if we can just kind of hover down here, testing this out whilst we correct our relative strength index, this could be achieved because the volumes are dropping down significantly. So if the volumes stay nice and low, we could really test this area here as a good area of support, and then hopefully get this corrected enough that we can have another swing to the upside. And if we end up with that swing, we could have a good shot at moving past $1.83, but you do need to have a good amount of relative strength index and good volume coming in to allow that breakthrough to happen. And like I said, once we're past here and we get that close, we want to confirm that this resistance line is then support as well. So we'll be looking at potentially having down here, testing this as support, moving through, testing this as support before really breaking on up to the upside. So there's some fantastic things potentially on the horizon here for Cardano and the ADA coin. So definitely looking like it's a very good day here for crypto. I am expecting a pullback, but I've been saying this for the last couple of days. These kind of baby pullbacks have been absolutely fantastic because the volumes have been decreasing over the time, right? So we expect pullback because we're nice and high. We get the pullback, but it's so low in terms of price, or does very limited damage to the price, just because the volumes have actually dropped down significantly during those corrective waves. So right now we're looking to have that correction and hopefully stabilize that nice and low volume to protect as much of the price as possible as we correct that relative strength index. Doing these things the way we have been allows for a nice steady flow to the upside that you can see here. So if this can continue, we should have no problem moving past $1.83. And then obviously once we get that, confirm that as a support line and push on up into the 618. So things for Cardano's ADA are looking pretty good on this daily chart. So Chris, that's about everything I have on Cardano. Everything from the fantastic news around Hydra, smart contracts, dApps being built, the fact that Cardano and crypto is looking to overtake the entire financial system, the current legacy system. We've obviously did a little bit of TA there at the end, but is there anything else that you feel that you want to add?
Just amazing, Nick. And, you know, I think the stuff in Africa, you know, the good that are doing in the world is also fantastic. And, you know, it's amazing to have that, you know, I don't know, combination that you're able to invest in something that's, you know, going to make you, you know, a fair chunk of money in the future, but also doing really good stuff that's going to be life-changing for many.
It's exactly it, Chris. There's very few projects out there in the crypto space that are doing as much of real world change as Cardano. There's a handful of them, and I could probably name them all right now. I'm not going to, but there's not that many is my point here. There are, of course, fantastic projects out there that are doing fantastic things in the digital world, but when it comes to actually affecting real people in the real world, their day-to-day lives, there's very few projects that are doing as much as Cardano. So it's fantastic to kind of get involved with this one from the earlier stages and see how it develops over time. Guys, as always, if you found this useful and informative, do go ahead and hit that like button. We both really do appreciate it. And of course, if you happen to be new to the channel and you'd like to stay up to date with all those new cryptocurrencies, the hidden gems, the technical analysis and news, then why not become a subscriber? By subscribing, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything we do here. It is free, you'll stay well informed, so why not? Right, with that said, done and out of the way, we hope you have a fantastic day, guys, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Take care.